morning here. I need some energy. Give me something good.
I will. It's not business related.
That's okay.
I got a call from my daughter's boyfriend yesterday, and he's going to propose to her this weekend. He was asking my blessing.
All right, now that is a pretty cool win. That is a very good win, I would say. And what? How did he react, Teresa, after you said no? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Did you say yeah? Did you give him your blessing?
At the end, yes, I did.
Okay, okay, good. I wanted to just make sure, right? Well, that's pretty good. Yeah, well, congrats to you on that. It looks like you're gonna have a future son-in-law, so that's awesome. Anybody else? Anybody else with a good win?
Hey, good morning, Richard. Good morning, everyone. Philip, when I just got an off-market listing, is going to be a 4 unit complex, and it's looking really good.
Good, good. 4 unit complex. Those are, those are interesting. I've done a few of those before, and sometimes they can be really hard, or sometimes they can be really easy. But I mean, you guys are experts, like Philip and Monica. I mean, if you guys aren't following them on social media, check out what they're doing. They're doing some great things. They've got a lot of, I mean, just activity going on. So I'm always keeping up with what you guys are doing. So that's awesome. I love that. Anybody else? Another win. Give me another win. Who's got something good for me?
You being with us this morning. That's a win, Richard.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Well, it's like I said, it's my first one of interviewing, but I've been on the other side to interview. So for those of you that haven't been on this call before, we try to get somebody, a special guest on here, somebody that's just doing some great things, and it's a little bit of a mindset help, a mindset boost, inspiration, and also look, success leaves behind clues. So we want to see, okay, well, what are people that are successful in their industry or in their business? What are they doing that we can follow? What are the clues that we can pick up from those people? So that's why I think this is such a great call, and I'm excited about it. And just in time, I got our guest. Wow, perfect timing because I was just wrapping up our wins and talking about what this call is about. So let's go ahead. Can we pin Krista here? Oh, awesome. All right. I'm gonna get started right into it. I want to. I'm gonna have her introduce herself, tell us a little bit about herself as well. But for those of you that don't know, I think KW has got a coaching company that is, I mean, far and beyond. I mean, just one of the best out there. And so, if you're a KW agent, this is something that I think everybody should consider. And what's wild is I even know some top teams out there that hire several coaches just for their team. There's a team out in San Antonio that has 9 coaches. This guy has 9 coaching maps coaches for his team. Pretty large team, but it's just something great. But the most important thing, at least for me, is she's been my maps coach for the last about 4 years now. It's been right about 4 years. And so I attribute just everything that I've done, whatever you want to call successful in some ways, and whatever I've accomplished here in our business, I attribute it all to a lot of it really to her and her coaching. So please welcome Krista Staub.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Let me know if I'm freezing. It just looked like I did.
No,
Um,
no, you're okay. You're good, Krista. What I gave you a little bit of an intro, but tell us. I mean, who are you? What is your current role? Like, what does your day look like when you come to work?
okay, so I am a MAPS coach, of course. I'm a leadership coach. I coach team leaders and some OPs and agents, and also productivity coaches. And I also am in a market center, so that I do the MAPS coaching, but I also coach in 3 market centers within under a management company.
Okay, and just so I don't know if I mentioned, she's out in St. Louis, Missouri, or
Mhm.
Chesterfield to be exact, which is a little bit outside of St. Louis.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the suburbs of St. Louis. So
Okay,
everybody identifies that they're in St. Louis, no matter where you are.
everybody's a Cardinals fan out there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
That,
there
yeah,
you go.
those Dodgers, I don't know.
Yeah,
But I didn't recognize you because you didn't have the hat on. So I wasn't quite sure
yeah, yeah.
if I
For those,
was
I've
in
been
the
trying
right
to do,
room.
I've been trying to do less of the Dodger hat. I've been trying to do a little bit less of it, and yeah, we're trying to get better with that. Well, Krista, I mean, look, we'll go back to. I'd love to just hear also, and everybody here, how you got started in real estate, and also if you could just tell us how it went from selling real estate, which I know you did at a high level, into
Mhm.
becoming a MAPS coach.
Okay, well, gosh, this is a long story because I've been in this business for 26 years. And when I first started, it wasn't like I wanted to look at houses or do anything like that. My husband actually told me to get a hobby. So I got a hobby in real estate. I don't know why, but I did. And so, knowing my personality, I thought, well, I'll go to these meetings. And I ended up in my first year being the rookie of the year. And just jumping in. And it went from literally a hobby for about 6 weeks to being, this is what I'm doing. And I really didn't think that I'd be doing it for 26 years. So after a couple years in real estate, I started helping people because I noticed that agents that were coming in as new agents or seasoned agents really didn't know what the path was, leaving another company, coming into the company that I was with at that time. So I started training all of them. So I realized that I had a passion for teaching, a passion for coaching, and I became the director of career development and training for that first company that I was with. And so that kind of started my path to where I am today, which I didn't really see that. And so then once I left that company and transitioned to another company, I took over that role again, career development and training while running a mega team. And at that time, mega teams were not really known. We didn't call them mega teams. We called them, you're an individual agent with like two assistants. Was a mega team. And so it wasn't really, I mean, it was nothing like it is today. And then so at that time, and you know this, Richard, I have a son that has a brain disease. So at that time, when he was diagnosed with a brain tumor, I kind of took a step back from that career development and training business and my real estate business to focus on the things that I needed to focus on. And during that time, and this is the reason, one of the I mean, besides Keller Williams having so many amazing things that we offer, is the company that I was with, when they found out that my son had a brain tumor, they started dwindling me out of my position instead of wrapping their arms around me and saying, hey, how can we support you? And culture. Where was the culture in that company? So everything kind of went down for me, my real estate business, my training business. And I had a call from somebody that I had known at the company I was with, and they're like, hey, I'm with Keller Williams. And at this time, Keller Williams was kind of just launching in St. Louis area. And I'm like, okay, I'll come and talk to you. And I sat in that meeting and I thought, you know what? I don't know if I'm gonna stay here, but I think I'll join because I need a kick in the rear end to get me going
Hmm.
again. So that's the reason that I joined Keller Williams. And I heard all the things and I'm like, they said live by a calendar. I'm like, well, I don't need to live by a calendar. It's all in my head. I've got all of this. And next, I started my business again, getting my real estate business going, growing to about 50 units a year. And then also taking on the agent services role. Is it okay if I really go a little bit more in
I
depth
love it,
on this?
love it, love it,
Okay.
love it.
All right. Because you are all in California and you're going to think I'm like totally crazy. So they offered me a position at Keller Williams because I'm like, I used to do this. I would train the agents. I can help you. I'll create a manual for you. I'll do all of this
Yeah,
stuff for you. And they're like, okay. I'll just do it out of the goodness of my heart. So they're like, well, who's not going to take that, right?
yeah, yeah.
And so I left. I had to go to the Mayo Clinic at that time with my son. And I said, when I get back, I'll finish the manual, I'll give it to you, and you guys can now train your agents. And so they offered me a position as agent services. Now, do you have agent services in that office?
We do. We have Doug. That's in our Long Beach office. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sure Doug made a lot more than I did, makes a lot more than I
Okay.
did. So $12,000 a year is what I was offered. And I
Wow.
took it. I took it. I took it for opportunity to get me back in to where I needed to be. So I 6 months in that role, and then I was offered another position in another market center as their agent services also. So now I just went from 12,000 to 24,000 in 6 months. I doubled my income. Now it wasn't the biggest income in the world. I was living
But
in
it was a double.
yeah, but I doubled it. And so that's where everything started with KW. And so then since then, well, since that time that I was agent services, the OP came to me and he said, Krista, I think you're really a coach. And I'm like, a coach? Well, I had coached athletics and done things like that, but the coach, what does a coach in the office do? And so I started that role, started off small. I went on to develop a coaching program of 150 agents, bringing in right between 6 to 700,000 a year in company dollar. I then can't just stop there because that's not inside of me. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to go be a MAPS coach then. And at that time is when I got out of production. I had built my real estate business again to around 50 to 60 units a year.
Mm.
And now I sell only to friends and family. And I went on the journey to be a MAPS coach. And so that's where I am today.
Well, I love the story. You had so much in there, and I want to come back to your son if I could.
Mhm.
But yeah, you touched upon your son, you touched upon KW culture, and now as a MAPS coach, let me get into a little bit on the MAPS coaching side, because there are a lot of agents here, and we have a variety of. We have some agents that are, doing really, really well. We have some agents that are, man, what do I need to do to turn my business around? What do you think is the biggest difference that you really see between agents that are really thriving, that are just doing really, really well, and agents that are struggling? Is it just a matter of the ones that are struggling are just not working as hard, or they just not have direction? What is the difference that you see when you coach agents?
Well, I would say that is it working smarter, not harder? And I would say the first thing is, are you coachable? Because you've all heard Gary say, no one succeeds alone. And it is very true. How many coaches do professional athletes have? Your Dodgers. How many coaches do you think the players have? It's
Oh,
not
well,
the
yeah,
coach
every
that's on the
position. Yeah,
bench.
yeah,
No, there's more of them.
yeah.
And they hire their own personal coaches for their personal gain, not for, if they just bank on the people in the dugout, that's not enough
Yeah.
for them to go where they need to grow. And so as a coach, I would say consistency. That's
Hmm.
the one thing that a lot of agents struggle with. And this is the reason we see the ups and downs. It's, do they know how to hire? Career visioning. Are they taking career visioning? And, really treating this as a business instead of transactional.
Okay.
And that's where I see that a lot of people fail. And we know that the average agent is in the business for 7 years. 7 years. I don't care what the production is, because it's not a lifestyle. Have you made real estate a lifestyle? Or is it, well, I'm showing up today, I'm going to sell a house, maybe two or three or five, yet, and then next month, maybe I won't. Well, that's a hard life to live, to always wonder, where's it going to come from? Or what is the reason I don't have consistency? Or we call them, do you guys call them Pop-Tart agents? Have you ever heard of that?
We never
You've
used
never heard of
that.
that?
No. But I
Manny,
do
have
like
you heard of
Pop-Tarts.
that?
No,
No,
never
no
heard of
one?
that. No.
Okay, so it's where, you know what a Pop-Tart does? You put it in
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
toaster and it pops up. And so when that phone rings, you pop up for the ring and then you go, or you get a lead and you go. So that's what we call
We're
Pop-Tart.
gonna use those. We're gonna use that.
So yes, I would say if you're a Pop-Tart agent, it's hard to have it as a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Well,
Katie.
well, give us a little bit of help here. That if I'm an agent and I'm just stuck, I've always looked at it as okay, I can approach it with skill or mindset. Should I focus on one over the other? What do you think is more important to work on my skill set or my mindset?
Well, in this market right now, it is your skill set because we know we're in a skilled market. And are you seeing longer days on market?
Yes.
No. So then it's a skill. But in order to get the skill, do I have to work on my mindset?
Yeah.
So are
Yeah.
they simultaneously learning on each end of them to grow my mindset, which is ultimately going to grow my skill? And then is my skill growing my mindset? So they work together. So I
Yeah.
would say if you're not working on both, start working on both.
Okay. Now, I'd like to go back to your son, the story of your son, because I've heard this
Mhm.
story before, and I think it's very inspirational. It's just a neat story because I know that your son is, he's doing okay right now. I mean, where you didn't think he would even make it past, all this.
Yeah.
You gave us a story. You gave me this story before about a doctor who
Yeah.
challenged you. Tell us about that challenge and what you did with that challenge, and tell us a little bit about that.
So when they told me that my son had 2 years to live at the doctors here in St. Louis, I decided, well, that's not an option. I'm the mother. I'm gonna control the situation as much as I could. So I took
Yeah.
him to the Mayo Clinic and in Rochester, Minnesota. And the doctor, Brendan was having about 50 seizures a day. He was having strokes. And at this time, he's 11 years old. And
Wow.
the doctor had put him on experimental medicines. And I went into the appointment one day and he asked me, what are my son's numbers? I'm like, well, I don't know what his numbers are. Aren't you the doctor? You need to know his numbers. But I live in St. Louis. He lives in Minnesota. So a lot of the blood draws were in St. Louis. And so I just figured there's the numbers. They ship them there and he's going to read them and give me a call. And so I walked in and he said, well, what are his numbers? I said, well, I don't know. And he said, your son will die if you do not know his numbers. And at that moment, I realized that this doctor really didn't have much respect for me because I did not know his numbers. And so I left that appointment. And, a lot of these doctors, well, and if your spouse is a doctor or anything, I don't mean this like that, but some of these doctors don't have the best bedside manner. Um, but he didn't have good bedside manner. But the next time that I went back, and I do say this because have to, do we need to know our numbers in real estate? And
Yeah.
I tie it together. And Richard was in a class that I was teaching, and I tie it together. And I know some people look at me like I'm a little like, you're really tying numbers of your son together with numbers in a real estate business. And so I went back, I knew all of his numbers, and because math was the path to my son living. And math is the path to success in real estate. And so when I went in there and I knew everything, I started studying the brain, and we would go back every month for a couple weeks. And I started studying that brain. And now what Richard is saying is I do teach a class around numbers or around the brain and incorporating the numbers into it. So I earned the respect of that doctor. We went from what are Brendan's numbers to how are you doing? How do you feel? How are you dealing with all of this? So know your numbers.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I take a lot out of that. I take a lot of like knowing your numbers. I know we've always talked about the brain and how, it controls everything. We talked about that as well too. And also the fact that I mean you got somewhat of a challenge, from somebody, and there was something on the line that was absolutely important, and you took it very seriously. You didn't, quiver into a corner, you just went right into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just so inspirational. So, Krista, you coach a lot of people. You've coached a lot of people in this
Mm-hmm.
business. What I'd love to hear, is there a story that you can think of, an agent that you've coached where you've just seen transformation that's just inspirational? And what would tell us a little bit about that? What was it that finally clicked? Because I think a lot of agents right now, they need inspiration more than ever.
Okay, I do, and it was a one that came up this morning, and so it was an agent that she is an agent, and she was with KW, and I coached her for probably 5 years, and she was when I met her, she was struggling with addiction, and she ended up um, getting through that. And so, I mean, I was her accountability for that. She's a mega agent here in St. Louis. And she ended up at one point leaving Keller Williams. And she just came back to Keller Williams. And her comment was that I was the only one that believed in her. And sometimes when you don't believe in yourself, you've got to take the words of somebody else that believes in you. And that helps you become that success. She now has two teams. She works on two sides. I mean, she's got an expansion team and she's doing very well. But when she came back, part of the reason she came back was because she said that nobody cared for me like Krista did. Nobody in her life cared about her as much as I did. And one thing she did bring up, and I honestly, I didn't remember it. I would send her flowers for the first 5 years of her sobriety and on the sobriety date. And I know that's not like the numbers, the transformation, but coaching isn't always about the numbers. It's about transforming lives on whatever their path is. It's
Yeah.
not my path, it's their path, and I help them get to where they need to be.
I like what you said there because I mean sometimes I think KW has changed my life. I mean
Mhm.
I was in Austin, as you know, a few weeks ago at FSO, and a room full of OPs, team leaders, regional directors, and I can't tell you how many times I heard the words KW has really changed my life. Like, multiple people stood up and said that, whereas I was like, okay, well, are other brokerages or other companies, do those agents, are they able to really stand up and say this company has changed my life? I mean, we're not talking about production, we're not talking about, like, it's really changed my life. I think that's fascinating. Yeah.
It is fascinating. It has changed mine. I used to not read before I came to KW. I wasn't a big reader. I read 5 books a month. It,
Okay,
it's
but how did that start? Like, what pushed you into doing that?
I guess just being in it. I'm going to tell you this. I did take bold 20 times and
Oh, wait, say that one more time. How many times?
bold 20 times, 20
Wow.
times. And, sometimes you go kicking and screaming and you're like, oh gosh, I got to go to this again. But no matter what room you're in, it will change you. Even if you put that you're the prisoner in that room, it'll go into your subconscious. And all of a sudden, after 20 bolds, now, it didn't take that many. It was probably about five. And then I was like, I could see the change in me. I started seeing it just by being in the room and that knowledge being fed into my head.
Okay, so I'm gonna make you give me a coaching session right now, like a real rapid fire 2 minute coaching session. I'm a brand new agent. Where do I start? I'm full time. I want to put all my eggs are in this basket. What do I do, Krista? In just
Well,
60 seconds. What do I do?
okay. Well, that's a great question. So what is it that you would like to do?
Ooh, I want to make a lot of money. I want to really prove to everybody around me that I can do this.
So what does a lot of money mean?
I mean, I just want to be comfortable. I've been stressing about bills all my life. I've always felt like I've been paycheck to paycheck. I want to be able to not think about how much money I have. I want the money just to flow in and be there.
So being comfortable equals not living paycheck to paycheck. Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh yeah, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of living paycheck and that corporate life, 9 to 5. I was dying in that.
So your 9 to 5 was not allowing you to live a comfortable life.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I was working so hard, but just still struggling, and I was like, this just doesn't make sense.
So what doesn't make sense about it? So you had an income, you're living paycheck to paycheck. Where do you think the gap was between your business and your expenses?
Well, I think there was just a ceiling, and I mean, people, seeing on social media, and some of my friends were doing really well in real estate, driving nice cars and nice clothes. Just felt like, you know what? I'm just tired of it. I'm gonna give this a shot, and I just felt like, okay, I can do this.
Okay, so what I'm hearing, you're going to give this a shot.
Yes.
What does that mean when you say that you're going to give real estate a shot?
Like I'm gonna go. Yeah. Well, I want to just give it everything I got. I want to go all in. Like I'm ready to do the work.
So when you say everything and you're going to do all the work, tell me more about that.
You guys see what she's doing here? Okay, and look, for the sake of time, I already know, Krista, what you're doing here. She's not sitting there telling me what to do. It was almost like, I mean, I call it like a little trick question or a trap. I'm like, Krista, what do I need to do? Give me all the answers. But if she tells me everything that I need to do, am I really going to follow it? She's drawing. Yeah, Katie. She said it perfect. She's drawing it out of me. I mean, I look at that in a listing appointment, with a buyer's appointment. We're not just sitting there, especially with coaching, just telling. Love that, Krista.
Well, thank you. Thanks for putting me on the spot there. I'm like, oh my gosh, which model do I need to go into?
You didn't know that I was going to do this, but I'd love to end with this, just something fun, a few rapid fire questions. One thing some people might be surprised about you.
Oh,
Let's
you
do
want
some
me to
rapid
say
fire.
it?
Yeah.
Oh.
One thing they might be surprised about who you are or anything about you.
Well, okay, so I'll start with I was an elite gymnast.
Okay.
And so I competed at the Olympic level. Didn't make it there, but I did compete at that level. I coach Richard, you already know that. And well, what else? You already know that I've been in real estate for 26 years.
Yeah. Well, I think the gymnast thing is a cool fact. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Well, you knew that, didn't you?
Yeah, I knew that. Of course I knew
Yeah.
that, but everybody else didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, I coach in Portugal, which
Oh, yeah.
I also teach there. So I've been there last year. I was there 30 days teaching. And I have a little Portuguese. I had a Portuguese tutor, and then I didn't have anybody to speak Portuguese with because my clients don't want to speak Portuguese. So with me, they want to speak English. So yes, I do that.
And just to clarify, that's KW in Portugal.
Yeah.
KW
Portugal.
Yeah.
Through Maps. And that's the other thing. Maps and KW helped me with a vision that I didn't even know that I want what I wanted. And so never in a million years when I started at KW did I think that I'd be an international coach and a trainer. And it's given me a path that I never thought I would ever have. And for that, I love KW. I would never leave KW because of, just like I said, for anybody that doesn't have a coach, sometimes your coach is your vision. And until you have your own vision. And that day that the OP said to me, do you need to be the coach? He saw something in me that I may not have seen in myself. And I just went with it. And now here I am.
Well, on that note,
and I appreciate you having me here.
I love hearing that, Krista. So you're telling me you are KW for life. You know, that means you're not leaving for stock options in the ABC 1, 2, 3 company. Yeah, it's about just the impact on your life. So, Krista, thank you so much. I'm getting on another call with you right after this. And I hope you guys all found it of value because she's had a huge impact in my business, in my life. And when she talks about really caring, I can definitely say she absolutely does care. So I value her so very much. Thank you so much, Krista.
I value you.
Thank you.
And thank you all for being here.
Yes, thank you guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, Krista.
Thank you, Krista.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye.
A lot of comments in a lot of thank yous in the chat.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I look forward to meeting all of you in person someday.
We'll get you out to SoCal.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.